Hello, everybody. Good evening. Rose Thorn here. So, how is everyone this evening? I hope that you're all having a wonderful Thursday evening. So, today I am reacting to a very small portion of Foodie Beauty's live stream called Hanging at the Villa All Day. And the reason why I'm reacting to a very small portion of it is the majority of this 2-hour live stream was just the same stuff that we've heard from Foodie Beauty over and over again about Natter, how she hates him, oh, I'm not going back, and blah, 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 Dee Dee, this, that, and the other thing. But there's one part of the live stream that I found when I was scanning through it that has to do with Pete's. And that's the part I'm going to react to, because it's not the usual Natter, Chantal, Dee Dee, blah, blah, blah that she gives us. It has to do with Pete's because I got some thoughts on this piece. And then we're going to go directly to the comments, and then we're going to call it a day. And hopefully, I will stay caught up. Unless Foodie does 10 more live streams tonight, then I'm not going to be able to sleep. So let me just go ahead and share the screen so you guys can see for yourselves as well. And there's our lady of the hour, Miss Chantal Marie. So this was a live stream she did previously today. This is the one that she did this before I even woke up this morning. I woke up this morning and she already did this one, so I've been a bit behind with covering her content. I was up till 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning doing ambiance stuff because YouTube took 2 hours to process one ambiance video. Thanks, YouTube. Why'd you take so long? You robbed me of my sleep, YouTube. Thank you for that. Doggone it. Anyway, so she did this live stream and she talks about Pete's and she talks about Natter and the villa and all this stuff. So I want to cover this, and then we're going to go directly into the comments, and we'll make this one a short one if possible. So let's get to.
A lot of stuff. Anyway. This was before dawn when I talked to them. Okay? Please, others just tell me what you want to hear.
You know, Chantal likes to paint this picture of herself to her members that she's just some helpless female, that he's the one grifting her. You guys already know my thoughts on that. They're both grifters. 2 grifters that found each other. They sat down and said, how can we come together and make a lot of money? How can we grift the most money out of people on YouTube? So these 2 manipulators and schemers came together and said, let's play this little game with people where we bounce the drama back and forth. And Natter, you be the bad guy, and I paint myself the picture of being a helpless victim. Chantal is not a victim, y'all. She likes to play the victim because as long as she plays the victim, that means nothing is her fault. And yet this whole situation with Natter is completely her fault because it was completely by choice. Everything that's happened has happened because she chose it to happen. She chose to hang out with him. She chose to associate with him. She chose to give him money. Everything was by choice. Nothing was forced upon her.
No, we're not. Losing subs, losing money, losing my fucking sanity. I'm losing myself for that turd.
You're not losing anything, Chantal. You have a YouTube channel, and if you are losing money and losing subs, whose fault is that? It's not the fault of your VIBs. It's not the fault of your viewers. It's not the fault of the reactors. If you were doing great content on your channel and not catering to those feeder fucks, you'd be all right. But you decided a long time ago you were going to cater to the feeders, and that's all you want on your channel are the feeders, because those are the people who can message you privately and give you money for feeder requests. Everything you do on your live streams is about catering to the feeders, the sucking on your fingers, the chewing with your mouth open, wearing clothes that are too tight or don't cover yourself, coming on camera dressed in lingerie, showing off your belly, showing off as much of yourself as possible, pretending to be out of breath. Everything you do is about catering to the feeders, everything. That's the crowds you want for your YouTube channel. Let me gather all the feeders together into one place and I can make a lot of money. You should go to a campsite or an adult forum for that because that's what it's meant for. But you decided a public forum was where you were going to cater to the feeders.
I feel like it's done. Because I feel like I understand
It's not done.
why it destroys me to be with him.
Oh, shut up. Please just shut up. You're not done with him. And you know how I know you're not done? Because we know you, Chantal. We know how vindictive and evil you are when somebody really gets on your bad side. We've seen traces of that evil, vindictive side. If you and Natter were really done, you would go full scorched earth on Natter and just lay it all out there. You're frustrated with him. You might be angry with him. This might be performative. This might be fake, but you don't have real rage. Not enough to say, that's it. I'm going to burn the bridge. I'm going to torch it and walk away from it. You're not doing that. You're just, I'm mad, I'm mad, I'm mad. We're done, we're done, we're done. But I don't see any evidence of you guys really being done. And you know what? You'll never be done with him because the two of you are too busy making money off people on YouTube and grifting everybody.
Shit, I'm blocking it. Who are you? I'm sorry, FFG. Is that really FFG? You know what?
So Kiki Love posted comments saying, at Foodie Beauty, baby, you know you can't afford to keep the villa and an apartment for Natter. Why not just say, sorry, not going to happen, instead of exploiting all this crap online? I've been saying that for the longest, that if she ever did move in with Natter, that she would slowly phase out the villa and Pete's and the cats. She's dying to do that. She's dying to let everything go that she doesn't want to take care of. She's very selfish. You know, she would get the apartment for Natter and then make it her business to slowly move her stuff in and ease herself into that life. And then at the appropriate time, she would go back to Pete's and say, sorry, dude, I can't afford the rent on 2 places. You're going to have to find someplace else to go. And knowing Chantal, she would not give Pete's proper time to find a job, get some money going. She would probably hit him at the 11th hour with that crap. And Pete's is going to lose it. Not that I have any sympathy for Pete's. I mean, my sympathy and pity for Pete's went out the window a while ago with him talking about, oh, the cat boxes haven't been changed in 3 months. And the way he treats BBJ, grabbing onto her head, even though she's got problems with her mouth, and saying no mercy. You know what, Pete's? If there's no mercy for that poor animal who has done nothing, I got none for you. I hope that Foodie hits you upside the head with, hey, dude, sorry, I'm not paying for a place. Find somewhere else to go. And you end up in a ditch, living in a ditch for what you did to BBJ, for the way you treat her. You're in that house with Foodie, and you can't even make yourself useful. You don't do any housework. You don't contribute anything. You just sit in your room and do nothing. Absolutely nothing. It wouldn't kill you to do a little bit of housework at least and say, well, I'm contributing this way. You contribute nothing. You are useless. You are worthless. You do nothing, you contribute nothing, you have no desire to. So if you can't see the warning signs on the wall that she's wrapped around this dude and eventually she's going to end up with him and you can't prepare beforehand, you're an adult man. You should be able to figure it out and see it for yourself. It ain't for me to tell you. But no mercy for you, Pete. Not after what you did to BBJ. No, sir.
I know I can't afford both. I don't know. No, he said he would never see Dee Dee again. He agreed to not see her ever again.
How is that going to happen if he lives with her? Make that make sense. If he's living with Dee Dee, how can he avoid seeing her? He's living in her house. How could he avoid seeing her if he lives with her? Natter's not stupid. He knows that if he stays away from you and makes you desperate and makes you jealous, he'll continue to get a lot of money out of you because you're desperate to see him. But if you can see him every day, you aren't going to pay him anything. So from a grifter player point of view, it benefits him to keep you at arm's length, Foodie. It just does. And you know what? I retract my statement about Foodie not being able to afford two places. If she's making 12, 13,000 plus a month, she can afford two places. If she cuts back on some of her bad habits, she could afford two places. It's just that if she lives with Natter, do y'all see Natter being okay with her paying for the villa if she's not living there and supporting Pete and supporting the cats? He doesn't like Pete and he's not fond of the cats. I can easily see Natter going to her if they did live together and say, listen, you're putting your money into something you don't need. You could save that money and spend it on the two of us. You can give that money to me. So just cut that whole thing off. The only reason why Natter would agree to live with Chantal is to take full control of her and full control of her money. But it wouldn't take anything at all for Natter to convince Chantal to let go of the villa, let go of Pete, and let go of the cats. She looks at all of that as a nuisance anyway. It gets in the way of the time that she spends with Natter.
Like, you can't ever, because I'm like, you don't want to hang out with, want me to see Pete, so as if I would ever stop seeing Pete. Like, this is so toxic. If you ever, guys, relationships should not be like that.
You know, you're right, Chantal. If you're around someone that they pretty much isolate you and say, you can't do the things that you enjoy doing, or you have to be a completely different person when you're around me, or you can't talk to your friends, people that knew you before that person came along, that's not the right person for you. Because if you're around the right person, they will accept you as you are, and they will not try to push out your friends, your family, and isolate you like that. No, they won't. You've said yourself that you are not yourself around Natter, and I believe it because I've seen you put on a fake version of yourself with Natter, sitting there doing all that incessant laughing around him and always looking at him for approval, and you don't act gross around him. That is not who you are. That is not who you are naturally. You are a gross, disgusting creature. You've proved that. You're a different person at home than when you are with Natter. So you have to be a fake version of yourself just to make him happy. He tells you you can't spend time around family or friends. He probably presses upon you not to spend money on the cats because he doesn't like the cats. I mean, he does all this stuff because he wants all your money. He's controlling your money, and you're okay with that. And as far as Pete and Natter not liking each other, the one thing those two men have in common is you. I fully believe that the reason why they hate each other is because of you. You probably went to Pete's and talked all kinds of mad trash about Natter, and then you went to Natter and talked all kinds of mad trash about Pete's. So because of that, they hate each other. And you love that. You love the fact that they fight over you, and you like being in the middle of that they have a tug of war going on between each other. You want that. You want to be in the middle of all that. You like the attention. So if those two men have a problem with each other, it's probably related to you and the things you've said.
Excuse me. It should never be. You can't see this person. Like a person, if a healthy relationship, a person should not want to isolate you from people who are good to you in your life. Like he hates Pete because Pete's called him a motherfucker.
And what has Natter said about Pete? He said some pretty awful things about Pete. So they've said awful things about each other. But I think the main reason why Natter hates Pete is because Pete is yet another man in her life that she's spending money on. That's pretty much it. Pete is another man in Chantal's life that she spends money on and she takes care of. And Natter wants to be the only one that Foodie spends money on. He doesn't like the idea of another man getting the benefit of Chantal's money. He wants to be the only one.
No, I never gave money to Dee. You want me to give money to Dee? I wanted to isolate him from Dee. That's not healthy on my end either.
So he wanted to isolate you away from Pete. You wanted to isolate him away from Dee. You're both doing the same thing to different people. You're both guilty of the same thing. Like, I want to be with you. That means for me to get the most attention, I'm going to isolate you away from people that you hang out with and that you like. You're both guilty of selfish behavior. That's why I think you make a perfect couple. You're both selfish, self-centered, narcissistic, egotistical people. You only think of yourselves. You know, you've said it yourself. Isolation is not real love. And you're right. Real love doesn't do that. Real love is not about subtracting things and people in a person's life that make them happy. It's about addition. You know, you enter that person's life and you understand who they are and what their passions are, and you say to them, I'm okay with the way you are, and I just want to be a good addition to your world. I don't want to be that person that I start off in a place liking you, and in order for us to be together, you have to cut out the things you like to do and the people you like to hang with just to be with me. No, that's not how real love works.
That's toxic. I'm not saying I wasn't abusive either. I never hit him, but I would scream at him and everything. But
So she just admits it. She might not have been physically abusive, but she was verbally abusive. That's what I said before. I feel that if there's any kind of abuse going on between those two, it goes both ways. Maybe different, but it's still going on. It's not just Natter hurting her. We don't know what happened in the house between those two, but given Chantal's personality and the way she behaves and her personality, like, I can easily see her being verbally abusive and picking fights, maybe because she wants attention. And let's go back to Pete's for a minute. She's over here painting this picture of she cares about Pete so very much, but yet whenever he's around Chantal, she just looks at him like, what are you doing here? She'll sit there and roll her eyes. She won't even look at him. She's like, what are you doing here? Leave my room. Like, just go away. She kind of did the same thing to BB too. When she was with BB, she kind of gave that same behavior, like rolling her eyes and just being exasperated, like, ugh, why are you here? And then after they broke up, she won't stop talking about BB. So I believe that her affection and her connections are all fake. It's about, oh, you annoy me, go away.
I think it was a lot had to do with because of the fact that I fucking hated him for how he treated me. Like deep down, like I would try to bury it, but it would resurface as raging against him over and over again. Because, you know, oh my god, I got too much THC.
Nobody cares.
No more. I'm not buying more right now. And I'm gonna like try to.
Okay, enough with that. That's the part I wanted to show where she was talking about Pete. and the fact that I'm thoroughly convinced that even though her and Natter are not moving in together right now, she's going to keep trying. She's going to keep trying for it. She's going to keep trying to get in his good graces. She's determined to win this thing. She's looking at being with Natter as a contest, and she is determined to win. She's determined not to lose. She's determined not to be defeated. So she's going to keep trying. And there's going to come a point where maybe he breaks down and lets her move in with him, maybe because he wants to control her money. And if that happens, y'all, then she's going to just abandon Pete's and the cats and the villa and just say, screw it. I don't need his responsibility. I want to be with Natter all the time, Natter all day. And if Pete can't see that right now, if he can't recognize the warning signs, then he's an idiot, because they're all over the place. But that's his road to hoe, okay? As I said, I have no love for Pete because of the way he treats BBJ. You know, he can go F himself because of that. But let's move on to the comments. What do the people have to say? Wen says, the duper's delight at the end. You know, she hung up and immediately called him, and D, too, to discuss how the super chats were rolling in again. Yeah, she's getting a lot of super chats right now because people are buying into this nonsense. I'm not buying into it, but, you know, there's a sucker born every minute, and Chantal's finding them all. Lori Lou Who says, if a person doesn't respect your boundaries, you stop seeing them. You don't use essay charges as a means of blackmail. And yes, that's exactly what she did. She said in her Pause and Laws live stream that she thought about what would happen if Natter tried to leave her, and she had a plan in place. And I feel that that plan was using the fact he's been in trouble with the law against him, and we saw what happened. We saw what went down. Linda says it's really hysterical that the VIBs don't care that Natter is making it rain with money. The VIBs money. Yeah, all that money he was making it rain with, that's y'all's money. How do you feel about that? Janice says, you and Slappy deserve each other. Go and get that apartment. Don't give up on your one true love, Stinky. I want them to live together. I want her to live in misery with Natter. I do. I want her to have those fantasies in her head, and then she lives with him, and then reality just comes barging right in saying, hi, remember me? You've been pushing me away for the longest, but here I am and you can't avoid me. The fireworks, the content from all that would be glorious. Kimmy says, don't get annoyed with your cats, you beast. You always have enough food to fill your gob. Your cat should be your priority. So I guess she was annoyed with the cats during this live stream. You know what, Foodie? Feed the cats. Please do. And if you're not going to feed them, you don't want them, give them to somebody else who will take them. It's just time. I'm not going to go on a long rant today, but you guys know how I feel about that. Kat says she acts like this all somehow fell from the sky on her. In reality, she drives for hours to get this abuse on a regular basis, pays him for it more than any gigolo in Canada is paid, was planning to move in with him a few hours ago. I guess the cats may still go, right, Chins? Rages at people who remind her of things she herself has said, and is visibly more mad at Dee Dee than Natter. If you can't take accountability for anything you do, you should really have yourself institutionalized. Yeah, she's always more mad at Dee Dee than Natter. She never gets fully mad at Natter because she still wants to be with him. She hasn't gone full on nuclear rage at him, and that's why you know it's still going on, because she always stops at a certain point. Shannon Holly says, I'm just shocked. I shouldn't be, but I am. She goes live, then almost immediately tells everyone to leave her alone because she doesn't get the reaction she wants. Then continues to just sit there and come up with what she believes are excuses for why she keeps going back to Natter. I honestly don't believe that they were ever together. I think she's so delusional that she believes it's true. And she tells BBJ she's going to order treats, then proceeds to order Burger King for herself. That biatch. What's for Chantal? Chantal, why are you feeding the cats treats all the time? What's wrong with regular food? My God, this is making me nuts. I just walked to the store today to get tuna for Booger because she's a finicky eater and that's what she eats. Nobody yell at me for saying, hey, tuna's not good for cats. You don't know my cat, y'all. I mean, I've tried to feed her regular cat food, all different kinds, different flavors. She's a finicky eater. She gets dry food all day long, and I tried to supplement that with wet food, and she's just Miss Finicky Pants over here and just certain kinds of tuna she likes. So I did that. I walked to the store and got her like a certain brand of cat food, stocked up on it. But here's Chantal with more money than me, and she can't be bothered to buy like a case of canned food that only costs like 20 bucks, Foodie. Stop feeding those cats treats and thinking that's all they need for the day. They don't need, they need more than that. Ooh, make me mad. Claire A says, I hope no one believes her rubbish. I know I shouldn't wish this on her, but I hope she gets everything that's coming to her. I was in a couple of DV relationships and she makes a mockery of them. Yes, she does. I agree, she does. Sue Smith says, why are you whining about the inevitable results of your own decisions? You constantly ask, is this normal, about aspects of his behavior towards you that make you uneasy, and when the resounding yes answers hits the chat, you still equivalate. It is simple yes or no decision. You choose to stay in this grifter's orbit, and by doing so, you lose any right to complain. You allow him to hit you, nothing playful about the several times I've seen him haul off and hit you. You give him permission to continue and escalate. He is not going to change. He is not going to claim or list or apologize. What you see is what you get. If you continue choosing to accept that, either your decision, but don't expect ass pats or a no judgment zone. Yeah, miss, I want privacy. You guys aren't entitled to every part of my life. Well, we don't need to get into your privacy, Chantal. You come on camera and you talk about things. The moment you do that, the public has a right to give their opinions back. If you don't want us to comment on something, don't show it to us. You hear me? Just don't do it. Mermaid's Tale says, what's ironic is that you waited until you found out Dee Dee and Natter were shacking up for a month around Christmas to report him. You know you did it out of nothing but pure spite and revenge. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Linda says, at this rate, the cats are going to outlive her. I love that for her. Keep eating, Chantal. We can tell by your fupa flash and your teeth and feet that your body is totally rotting. I have a wish, I have a prayer that those cats make it out of the house alive and into the arms and the loving hands of people that will do right by them. I feel sad thinking about the fact that Timbit never made it out of that house alive, that she never got into a healthy environment where she could be happy. That hurts my heart to think about that. And I'm scared to death that BBJ, as old as she is, as sick as she is, she will have the same fate. I hope that's not true. I really do. But Chantal is a selfish beast that rather than do the right thing and give the cats to somebody who will do right by them, she continues to use them as props for her live streams. And she's not even taking care of her props. She's being very neglectful of them. It just hurts to think about. But I hope that they do make it out of that house alive and they're given to somebody that will do right by them, because Chantal sure as hell isn't. Ty Baby says, you would think you'd know your tells by now. Guess the apartment is back on. This should be quite the arc. I'm like, I don't know what's going on with the apartment. I know it might be difficult for Chantal to find an apartment because she has bad credit. If you've got bad credit, apartment hunting is a bitch. Although some places will accept a bigger payment up front to compensate for the bad credit, which means that Chantal might be able to get away with throwing twice the amount of money for the deposit to get Natter into a place. She might be able to do that. Might. I don't know. I would think that that'd be the only way around the bad credit. The only way. Next comment. Let's see. Linda says she laughs about Natter filming the raining money video is because she and him must have planned that all along. It's why she stopped and got the money. She was excited. He did what they planned. She's so transparent. Yeah, she did the thing with like the raining of the money, and then he did it. Although what's funny is that when Chantal did it, she had $100 bills, and he just had 20s and 5s. I know, because I looked it up. I was curious what Canadian money looks like, and Canadian money is classed by different colors. Gold money is the $100 bills. Let's see, $5 bills are green. I believe the 20 is blue. So I was looking at different color of bills that he was tossing up in the air. I really didn't see any $100 bills. I just saw 20s and 5s. So it wasn't quite the flex he thought it was. Dean Park says, so you say in order for Natter to get you back, he has to come online and admit all he has done wrong and confess his love for you, and yet here you are still obsessing over him and trying to get him back regardless. Your sense of logic is messed up. Yes, she wants for him to get online allegedly and say that he did her wrong and apologize. He's a narcissist. He will never apologize. He will never apologize, ever, and yet she keeps going back. Lynn says, no lie, your cat sounds like mine did. I hope she's okay. So I don't know what happened in the video, and I don't want to go through it. I hope that the cat is all right. Mama Scat says, so when was your plan for the cats when you moved? Does Pete know about your Montreal apartment fantasy? Sorry, but I don't think he'll sign another lease for you. No, Chantal got into the villa because of Pete, because he put his name on the lease. Her name isn't even on the lease. As I said, I think the plan for her is to move in with Natter and then leave everything behind and let him figure it out. Because that's just her personality. She would actually do something like that. She left Pete in a bind before. Why wouldn't she do it a second time? Let's see. Pete only quit his job after he and Chantal moved in together. Before that, he had a full-time job and a semi-normal existence. Chantal poisons everything she touches. That's true. He did have a job, and Chantal told him, just quit your job and do streams with me. And he resisted for the longest, and he finally gave in, and now look at him. Angie says, and talking about payday loans, that's what e-begging was, trying to convince people you need money for a hotel so you can use your CPAP. Yet you're fine to go to a hotel and check up with Natter and not even take it sick. Yeah, just playing on people's sympathies saying, I got my medical device. I gotta have electricity. No, you don't. You've gone several times without your CPAP. Several times. Let's see. Mama Whale says, it was the payday loan place calling, guys. Even though I said I paid them off on Tuesday, it definitely wouldn't be Natter because I have him blocked everywhere. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't believe that blocking story. There's always a way to contact somebody if you want to. Let's see. Random Nothing says, you were exposing so much about Natter and Didi for almost 2 hours straight on this live, and then you got a phone call. Then you came back and started talking about food and stopped altogether talking about him. This is why no one believes you, because we know it's him shutting you up and you lying about it. Yeah, she always switches gears whenever Natter calls. Natty Daddy calls, she shuts up. Let's see. Agatha says, stop saying you would only get back with him if. That will never happen. You can't have children, and hopefully they will let you adopt. Well, I'm not a person that I've ever wanted to adopt a child, but I would imagine that if you adopt a child from somewhere, they do an extensive background check. They want to see that you're employed. They want to know you've got a clean home, that you are reputable. Chantal would not pass. She absolutely would not. The only reason why she wants kids is because Nader wants kids. And the only reason why she wants to be pregnant is because this woman is obsessed with Nader. And she wants to get pregnant, although she cannot. She wants to get pregnant so she will have a lifetime link to Nader, and she will always have a reason to see him and to talk to him. It's not about wanting a child, it's about just wanting him to always be around her. Emma K says it's nothing more than an escort client relationship. You pay for absolutely everything, give him money, weed, etc. Yet you go out to dinner but put video on his channel, which is more money for him. You're paying for the boyfriend experience, nothing more than this. Yes, so she's paying him and then she's helping him get paid. Total escort thing right there. Let's see. Kathleen says, why do you let your cats go hungry? You don't like the feeling of hunger, so why do you do that to them? They can't feed themselves. I'm going to say it, and I don't want to upset anybody saying it. I just got to speak my thoughts. This is my react video. I can do that. My thoughts, my opinion, I feel that she's purposely starving the cats, especially BBJ, because she's hoping that something will happen to her and that she can turn around and use that for super chats. There, I said it. I said it. BBJ is very sick. She should be on medication. She had to go back to the doctor for tooth problems, which can lead to infections. I feel she's purposely trying to make BBJ pass away because she doesn't want to take her to the vet and spend money on her. She'd rather spend it on edibles. Yes, she's that much of a monster. Yes, she's capable of that. I don't want to upset any pet parents saying that, but that's just my opinion. So you know what? I think this react is long enough. I think we'll cut it off here. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a great evening. I've got some stuff I need to do. Y'all take care and have a good one. Bye-bye.